Good morning. Welcome to the Convocation 2021 of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's SPJIMR Institute of Management and Research. As we gather together in this first ever virtual convocation, it is an honor for me to welcome our chief guest, Mrs. Arundhati Bhattacharya, Chairman and CEO of Salesforce India, Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, member of our SPJIMR Governing Council, who's chairing this ceremony, and Dr. Vasant Shivaraman, our Associate Dean, Academics. Along with the faculty and staff of SPJIMR and our esteemed alumni, welcome to all of you. And a special welcome today to all of our dear graduating students, participants, and their families. I am Vinita Dwivedi, a faculty here at SPJIMR, and I will be your host for today. This is our first ever virtual convocation, and in an unlikely event of a power outage or bandwidth issues at our end, we request you to kindly bear with us for a little while till we switch over to our backup systems. Having said that, it has been raining very heavily in several parts of the country, so it is equally possible you may find some issues. So the convocation is live on YouTube and its recording will be available later as well. This is a special year. We celebrated 40 years of our inception. With the guidance of our leading light, Dr. Manish L. Shrikant, and our brilliant professors, staff members, and with the country's brightest minds, year after year, we have grown into one of India's top schools of management, living every day with the principle of influencing practice and promoting values-based growth. COVID has ensured an interminable lockdown, so our campus is out of bounds. But we carry it in our hearts. So before we begin, a quick tour of SPJIMR.
We learn, we share, we teach, we care, igniting minds beyond 45 acres of life. We learn, we share, we teach, we care, igniting minds beyond 45 acres of life. I dare. 'Cause I'm SPJIMR, SPJIMR. अंधेरी और चर्चगेट के बीच लम्हे और यादें हजार, मेरी यहाँ पे दोस्ती, नौकरियाँ, प्यार. Who I am is by what I do. I'm individual, but together we're same. Dreams I chase, I run my own race. One day it reaches wide and far. SPJIMR, 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 SPJIMR.
That song you just heard, the SPJIMR anthem, was sung by our alumni, Debajyoti Biswas, PGDM class of 2016. Let us now begin with the proceedings of the convocation. I request Chairman, Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, to formally declare the convocation open.
I declare the SPJIMR Convocation 2021 open.
Thank you, sir. As is the tradition and fitting with the occasion, we begin the day with a prayer to Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and learning, put together by our students.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्मच्युतशङ्करः प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
Thank you, Rushi, Shevi, and Mehek for this beautiful Vandana. Now, it is my privilege to introduce you to Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan. With 55 years of experience, corporate experience, 34 years of board experience, and having authored 16 books, Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan is a leader, thinker, mentor, and guru. He has served as chairman of Unilever Arabia, as MD of Brook Bond Lipton, vice chairman of Hindustan Lever, as director of Tata Sons and several Tata companies. He served as an independent director and non-executive chairman of Castrol India, and also as an independent director of Press Trust of India. He is a member of the Governing Council of SPJIMR and is an executive at Residence. Sir, I invite you to give the welcome address at today's convocation.
It is my great honor and privilege to deliver the welcome address at the SPJIMR Convocation 2021. I have this privilege because I'm standing in for the chairman of the board, Mr. Deepak Parekh, who has requested me to stand in as the chairman of this particular convocation. I would first like to welcome the various dignitaries who are gracing this occasion, and then would like to make two welcoming points to the graduating students of SPJIMR. But first, we are deeply honored at the Institute to welcome Mrs. Arundhati Bhattacharjee, who is the chairperson and CEO of Salesforce India. I would also like, although in absentia, Mr. Deepak Parekh, the chairman of the governing board, to feel welcome. And I can't welcome myself, so I will continue with the members of the governing council of SPJIMR. I would also like to welcome the Associate Dean Academics, which is Dr. Vasant Shivaraman, who is currently leading the institute through a committee and is doing yeoman service. The Dean Designate, Dr. Varun Nagaraj, who will be joining the institute in September 2021. In case he's able to join, it will be a great pleasure to welcome him. And the two other associate deans of this institute, Dr. Preeta George and Dr. Renuka Kamath. So it's a great pleasure to have all of you present at this. And then there are the five really broad shoulders on which the institute runs, the chairpersons of the 5 programs who will be presenting their respective graduating classes. A very warm welcome to them. The members of the faculty, who are one of the finest teaching staff in this country for the subject of management, and all the staff of SPJIMR who support this faculty. The registrar for academic administration, and the heads of all institutions in the Bhavan's campus, we are very fortunate who are able to attend today. And then, of course, we have the leaders from corporates, partner organizations, alumni who have joined today on this Saturday morning. And last but not the least, the very proud parents, and rightly proud parents, spouses, family members of the graduating class. And finally, the people who are starring on this occasion, the 596 bright young SP ARCs, the sparks, who will be graduating this morning. A very warm welcome to you. I said that apart from welcoming a long list of very distinguished people to this very important occasion, I would just like to make two little points for you, which I hope you will find memorable, even if you forget everything else that happens at a formal function. And both of these are little stories. It is a tradition that elderly people give advice to younger people, but I don't want to do that. But the two stories I'm going to tell you will have their own inbuilt little moral. So the first story I want to tell you is about a visit that my wife and I made almost 25 years ago when I was posted abroad, and it was a chairman's conference, Unilever Group Company's chairman's conference, which was held in Zimbabwe. And in Zimbabwe, there is a big river in the southern part of Africa called the Zambezi. And they took us on a boat cruise early in the morning at 6:30 or 7. And there would be breakfast served somewhere where the boat would anchor. Now, one of the big problems that my wife and I had in Africa was that we were vegetarian, and the word was non-existent so far as the Africans were concerned. So we were always preoccupied with what will happen to our next meal. Sure enough, we got off at an island where they wanted to show us what they called a crocodile farm. And I had this image that a crocodile farm will have large crocodiles like the Sundarbans in Bengal. But actually, it turned out to be a crocodile nursery. And there were small little crocodiles, baby crocodiles, which were being hatched and grown into what they called bonsai crocodiles. And bonsai crocodiles meant that they were fully grown crocodiles, but instead of being 3 or 4 feet long, they were about 8 inches long. And I was surprised. What is a bonsai crocodile? And this is the explanation I got. That when these little crocodiles are hatched out of the egg, they are normal crocodiles. And they have the potential to grow to 3 or 4 feet or 5 feet. But like we do with a bonsai plant, where we tie up the roots, tap the roots and prevent the plant from growing naturally, we tap this crocodile and put it into a little tank where it doesn't have the breadth of vision and the swimming capability. And therefore, it remains a small little crocodile. It is permanently stunted. So what happens to the bonsai plant happens to the crocodile, and we get 8-inch crocodile, fully grown, mature adult. I said, why would anybody want to do this? At least bonsai plants are pretty to look at and you keep them in your house. Who would want to keep a bonsai crocodile? And here's the answer. That the rich people in the US, particularly in Florida, California, and so on, have in their house little ponds, and they like to keep bonsai crocodiles because they can't keep the natural crocodile. And then the rich guests come for dinner or to have a drink with them or to enjoy a soiree. They show them around their ponds and the little crocodiles. And so it provides a great deal of fun and mirth to the wealthy people. Well, I thought, what a way to patronize bonsai creation. But the thought passed my mind that when graduates finish with management schools like SPJIMR, They produce little crocodiles which have just hatched out of the egg. In this case, the egg is the SPJIMR. And they've got a lot of potential to become 4 feet long, tall managers in the business enterprises. But if they swim in a pond which is narrow and constricts their vision and the working of their muscles, at the end of 15 years, they will become bonsai crocodiles or bonsai managers, as I call it. And a bonsai manager, once made into a bonsai, cannot become normal again. Just like that crocodile can never become 3 or 4 feet long. So, without advising you, I'm suggesting to you that swimming in tough waters, swimming where you're really exercised, and not being contented with a small little pond in which you are the big chief is a good idea if you want to become the powerful, socially responsible managers whom SPJIMR intends to produce. So that's the first story. The second story I want to tell you is also about from the animal world. It's about two birds that come to the garden in Britain. As you know, the Brits are very fond of their summers because they have dreary weather for most of the year. And every year around July, August, two birds come, migratory birds come to their gardens. Both are of the crow family. And they're about the same size like a crow, except that one is blue jay. It's called a blue jay, it's blue in color, and one is red in color, and it's called a red robin. They have some differences in their characteristics, which is not something I need to hold you up about. And from 1900 till 1945, when data was being collected, these two birds were about the same size and they had a similar digestive system. And the way they got ingested their food was they would sit on the rim of the open top milk cans. Like you have even today, if you go to UP, Bihar or rural Maharashtra, you'll find open top milk cans. And they sat on the edge of it. The cream would come to the top and they would peck at it and they would ingest a certain amount of cream, which of course made them, as the Punjabis would say, healthy. Now, in 1945, something dramatic happened. Their weight started diverging. And the blue jay continued to become healthy, but the red robin became less in its weight and size and structure. And the question arose, why does that happen? And here's what they found at the end of another 30, 40 years, say 1980 or 85, that the blue jay is a very sociable animal. The bird twitters to each other and they're always together. And when one blue jay found that pasteurized milk, which was now becoming the fashion in 1945, you have to peck very hard at the aluminum foil if you want to get to the cream. So one blue jay figured it out and told the other blue jays, okay, this is the way to do it. In the case of the red robin, they were very territorial. They didn't want to share information with other people. So a red robin who figured out how to get to the cream would not tell the other red robins. So over a period of 40 years, the community of blue jays continued to be flourishing because they shared and communicated information. Whereas the red robins became captains of their own little ships and their ship remained small. So sharing is caring, sharing is growing. And that is a very nice lesson to learn from the family of the birds. I promised you I'll tell you only two stories. I got a lot many more stories. But I would like you to remember as you go through your career to make sure you never become a bonsai crocodile, because what has been hatched and is being honored today at SPJIMR are crocodiles which have 4 feet, 5 feet length capability. And your faculty here and all your well-wishers would be very disappointed if you're not a tall business leader at the end of 30 or 40 years. And the second thing is, when you share and care for people and for knowledge, knowledge is the only commodity which the more you share, the more you enjoy, the more you develop. So please remember these two lessons. And it's a great honor for me to be the chairman of this convocation on behalf of Deepak Parekh. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here. And congratulations once more to our graduating class. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gopalakrishnan. You have set the tone for the convocation and cheered our bright sparks, as you said. Now our students eagerly await to hear their names being called out. But before we move on with this, I want to show you what it would have been but for this pandemic. So now a little trip down the memory lane. So, bringing you back from the campus to the virtual auditorium today, I now invite our respected program chairs to read out the names of the graduating students. Let's see how nice they look with their gowns and sash. Here they are. So now, up is Dr. Sajeev George, Chairperson of the Postgraduate Diploma in Management, PGDM.
Dear graduating participants of PGDM class of 2021, our heartiest congratulations to each one of you as you step into the next phase of your lives after successfully completing the PGDM program. We hope that 2 years of SPJIMR PGDM experience will remain with you as a guiding light throughout your life. We thank you for giving us the confidence and support to face these unprecedented situations created by the pandemic. We are sure that these learnings and the resilience that you have developed in the face of these adversities would serve as one of the main drivers for your long-term success and happiness. Always strive for the best that you can be in whichever field you choose and help the SPJIMR flag to keep flying high. I shall announce the names roll number wise. Ashank Girish Ambe, Ashmin Kaur Buddhiraja, Abhinav Rai, Aditi Patni, Akshay Sriram, Ameya Kolhatkar, Anusha Ruth Sundar, Anushri Tandon, Arushi Kansal, Ashish Kumar Sancheti, Ashwin P. Ramesh, Ayan Chakraborty, Ayush Kumar, Chaitali Bansal, Charu Bhatia, Devansh Shah, Dvijaraj N, Faisal Ahmad, Gautaman BB, Hari Govind G, Harshita Sharma, Harsh Sanjay, Henna Gilotra, Ivy Sinha, Jagdish M, Karan Vats, Kartavya Khanna, Komal Falodia, Kritish Sharma, Lakshmi Nair, Mahima Agrawal, Manu Bansal, Manvi Sood, Milind Agarwal, Mukund Goyal, Naitik Agarwal, Nikhil Thodi, Nikita Wasni, Nishi Takar, Pallavi Jain, Parth Parikh, Parul Joshi, Pavani Sravya Darbha, Purvi Chaparwal, Prakriti, Raj Jain, Ram Marutappan Swaminathan, Ranjan Kathuria, Rishi Sabirigirishan, Roshni Garg, S. Aravind, Sabyasachi Sarkar, Sakshat Goyal, Samkit Shah, Sanjana H. Parameswar, Sanjeevan Nanda, Satyajit Varungas, Shikhar Sapra, Shivani Mundada, Shreya Ghosh, Shreya Somani, Shreyansh Bharani, Shubham Shah, Shwetank Pandey, Somesh Gupta, Sonal Patnaik, Saumya Chakraborty, Srividya Varadarajan, Suraj Sadhunkhe, Triparna Chakraborty, Vankush Lal, Vedant Khaderia, Veena S, Vinisha Gola, Vishnu Nair, Vishraja Srivastava, Yash Bhimrao Deshmukh, Arsu Bhatia, Ashe Gidra, Ashit Agarwal, Abhinendra Singh, Aditi Bishwas, Aditi Somani, Aditya Agarwal, Aishwarya Sadashivan, आकर्ष हरबोला, आकाश राव, अक्षय तानसी, अश्विन स्वामीनाथन, आयुष शाह, भव्य श्री चोलेटी, चंदना एस बाबू, चिन्मय खैतान, डैनिश सैफी, गौरव कुमार, गुरु राजशेखर मैनापट्टी, हार्दिक बुद्धिराजा, इशलीन कौर बामी, जनिल शाह, कनिष्क अरोरा, करण दर्शन शाह, केशव अग्रवाल, कोमल गुप्ता, लिपिका भट्टाचार्य, मानिक शर्मा, मोनिका वेमिरेड्डी, नमिता केशवा भट्ट, नेहा कुमारी, निवेदिता सिन्हा, निकेत चौहान, नितेश अग्रवाल, पल्लवी कराले, प्रणव कृष्ण गुड़ाती, प्रतीक्षा शानबाग, प्रिया सागर, रजत सुबोध कुमार मित्तल, राशि कोरजानी, रिधि रोहतागी, रितेश गुप्ता, राहुल उटुकुरु वीएन, रोहन कामदार, तडवर्ती वेंकटशिव नागसाई अखिल, सलोमी नगर सेठ, सानिध्य अग्रवाल, संयुक्ता चैटर्जी, सौरभ यतीश गुजराती, शौरिन शाह, शैलादित्य बहादुरी, श्रेया चमारिया, शुभम मंजित सिंह बागा, सिद्धांत गायकवाड, सिमरान सोलार, सौरभ सिंगर, श्रीपति जे, सुचेता वर्धन, सुकीरत कौर, सुनव पांडे, तने मोदी, तानिया कर्माकर, तानिया रस्तोगी, तुषार गोयल, उपासना सेनगुप्ता, वर्तिका शुक्ला, वरुण अग्रवाल, ब्रजेश चितालिया, यश गोवंकर, यशश्री भोरे, आंचल चोपड़ा, आंचल खतवानी, आयुषी जजोडिया, आदर्श काबरा, अद्रिजा सरकार, ऐश्वर्या सिन्हा, आकाश भट्ट, अक्षय कुमार, अनीशा अरोरा, अंकुर चंद्र, अर्नब कुमार खानरा, अर्पित भट्ट, अरुणा मोहंती, Arvind Nair, B.H. Karthik, Bhavya Podar, Chaitanya Munjal, Chaitra Jayachandran, Deepthi Kathuria, Devansh Sharma, Gaurav Kothari, Gauri Kamakshi Kishore, Gokul Krishnan Ramu, Harsh Jathani, Himanshu Sharma, Jairam Harihara Krishnan, Jesslyn Johnson, Jitin Nair, Keshav Khandelwal, Krishna Chaitanya Gorantla, Maleka Jain, Nidhi Dayal, Niharika Karnani, Niharika Shah, Nishant Shah, Niyanta Ashar, Parth Thakkar, Partho Mukherjee, Parul Thakur, Pranav Vora, Pratik Jain, Rachana Nambiar, Rahul Das, Ram Kumar, Rohan Bhatia, Rohit Chakraborty, S. Harshavardhana Reddy, Sachit Tripathi, Sagar Mundra, Sakshi Chawla, Saloni Gaud, Sambhav Jain, Samriddhi S. Arora, Sandeep Prabhu, Shilpi Agarwal, Shivam Kansal, Shivram V.S., Shreya Agarwal, Shreya Goodin, Shreyanshi Jain, Shubham Chabra, Siddhant Pati, K.S. Shivraman, Sparsh Sandilya, Srajan Kulshasta, Sukanya R, Tarini Kumar, Tommy Stephen, Ujjwal Mittal, Vaishali Aravamutan, Vidhi Sharma, Vignesh GM, Vinith Jain, Yash Surana, Shivani Parwani, Abhishek Grover, Jitendra Sehrawat, Aditya Shroff, Shyam Kesi, Priya Rafael, Ankhuri Gupta, Shreyam Jain, Vivek Sardana, Anindya Mohan Mukherjee, Karan Dharia, Daksh Ranawat, Akshat Gupta. DTT Awards Dean's Top 20 is a list of top academically meritorious participants as per their CGPAs based on all the courses of the first year of the program. I shall now announce the DTT names roll number wise. Ashish Kumar Sanjeti, Karan Vats, Lakshmi Nair, Pavani Sravya Garbha, Rishi Sabirigirishan, Samkit Shah, Sanjeevan Nanda, Shwetang Pandey, Somesh Gupta, Kanishk Arora, Shubham Manjit Singh Baga, Adarsh Kabra, Gokul Krishnan Ramu, Himanshu Sharma, Jaslyn Johnson, Niyanta Ashar, Partho Mukherjee, Shivam Kansal, Tarini Kumar, Ujjwal Mittal, Daksh Ranawat. I shall now declare the PGDM Gold Medal winners, the top 3 participants from the list of DTT. Rank 1, Samkit Shah. Rank 2, Somesh Gupta. Rank 3, Sanjeevan Nanda. Best wishes to the PGDM class of 2021. Please wait for the final conferment of your post-graduation certification to be conducted by our Honorable Chairman in the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor George. Now I invite Dr. Preeta George, Chairperson of the Postgraduate Executive Management Program, PGEMP.
Very good morning. It is my privilege and honor to present before you the graduates of PGEMP, Postgraduate Executive Management Program. We have 5 batches, 68 to 72, graduating today. On behalf of the PGEMP team, I extend our hearty congratulations to each one of you. You have achieved this milestone, juggling between work, family, and studies. Your grit and perseverance is truly commendable. I want to also thank and congratulate your family, company, and mentor, whose guidance and support was instrumental throughout this learning journey. I will begin with batch 68, class of 2020. This batch is represented by the following companies: BPCL, Cummins, Emerson, India Metronic, Larsen & Toubro, Numaligarh Refinery, General Mills, Gilbarco Veeder-Root, Honeywell Automation, and Nest Technologies. I will now announce the names of the graduates, roll number wise. Ruchika Agarwal, Rahul Ban, Katamaneni Chandrasekhar, Abhinav Chauhan, Sanjay Kumar Chaube, Ashutosh Kumar Chaudhary, Amol Vijay Chumle, Sachin Dakre, Deep Jyoti Deka, Anish Dipankaj, Geeta D'Souza, Sunil Funde, Dhananjay Ananda Jadhav, Rohit Jairaj Menon, Trambkesh Jha, Gaurav Jordar, Shruti Joshi, Geet Kauda, Ajit Kumar Kenoth, Amit Ashok Kini, Abhijit D. Kothari, Amit Kumar, Amrendra Kumar, Ravi Kumar, D.B. Arun Kumar, Vinayak M.A.K., Jangam Mahesh, Prabir Kumar Mehti, M. Raghu Nandan, Sanjay Mane, Nitish Nandan, Prasad Natu, Neelam Nehe, Shefali Pandey, V. Ravi Kumar Patnaik, Sandeep Pawar, Sricharan C. Rai, Manoj Prabhakar Rangaraj, Nikhil Roy, Vinod Kumar S, Aman Sachdeva, Sachin Chaudhary, Rangaraj Sankarapan, Vivek Sasi, Firoz Sheikh, Gurpreet Singh, Joshi Kumar Singh, Karunakar Singh, Piranjit Kumar Singh, Isha Singhal, Vinita Sorot, Bitopan Sonowal, Manisha Vartak, Vatan Vijay, Devender Singh Dhiman. I will now announce the names of the graduates who have made it to the prestigious Dean's Top 3 list for Batch 68. The DTT awardees in the order of their roll numbers are Deep Jyoti Deka, Geet Kauda, Devender Singh Dhiman. And the gold medalist of Batch 68 is Devender Singh Dhiman. The next graduating batch of PGEMP is Batch 69, Class of 2020. Participants of this batch are from BPCL, Bristlecone, Cummins, Larsen & Toubro, Tata Steel, and Umicore. Their names in the order of their roll numbers are Nitin Abral, Aditya Bakshi, Upinder Kaur Bulhar, Meenu, Harshak Chandak, Surendra Kumar Chaugule, Mohit Dabade, Abhirup Deshmukh, Rupesh Garg, Anant Kumar Gupta, Mayank Jain, Nagarajan Jayaraman, Sachin Kejriwal, Vipin Khanna, Tushar Kobragade, Siddhi Vinayak Kulkarni, Amit Kumar, Naveen Kumar Lal, Aditya Latkar, Yogesh Lole, Muthu Kumar M, Swapnil Mahajan, Shailesh Mawal, Pramod Maitre, Rahul Mohanty, Rohit Premsagar Mudaliar, Ramesh H. Panchal, Bharat Ram Pattabhi Raman, Chandrasekhar Periyasamy, Tarian Peter, Vishal Kumar Prasad, Srijit R, Vijay R, Subhendu Samanta, Chintan Jitendra Sanghani, Rohit Sethi, Veena Shah, Abhishek Shom, Tripurari Singh, Swapnil Kumar TV, Dilip J. Valecha, Aditya Venkateswaran, Tushar Kisan Paimode. I will now announce the names of the graduates who have made it to the prestigious Dean's Top 3 list for batch 69. The DTT awardees in the order of their roll numbers are Upinder Kaur Bhullar, Meenu, Bharat Ram Pattabhi Raman, and the gold medal winner is Meenu. PGMP batch 70, class of 2020 are from the following companies: Ashland India, BPCL, Cummins, Emerson Innovation Center, Larsen and Toubro, Mahindra and Mahindra, Numaligarh Refinery, Shapoorji Pallonji Group, Instarare India, and Multiwing India. I shall announce the names roll number wise. Ashutosh Agarwal, Kiran Aitoda, Deepak Singh Bisht, Grishma Harshad Dand, Jayanta Das, Hemant Deshmukh, Prasad Deshpande, Ranjita R. Gopal, Ajay Gupta, Himanshu Gupta, Muralidharan J, Rahul Mohan Joshi, Chiranjeev Kalita, Sudhir Satyanarayan Kamath, Maulik Kapadia, Karthik, Naveen Kumar, Manoj Kumar MN, Uttam Mins, Pankaj Mule, Aniket Munshi, Srijit Murali, Kamala Kannan Muthu Subramanian, Mehul Kumar Panchal, Jaimin Parmar, Dhaneshwar Patil, Paresh Patil, Suji Paul, Theo Rajan, Yallappa Sidrai Rajkatti, Prasad Rajwade, Sured Sejwani, Tanuj Saxena, Arun Shahi, Ankit Sharma, Vivek TP, Sentamiran Tirugnaman, Nilay Vakil, Gaurav Vijay, Ganeshan Jaipal, Prashant R. I will now announce the names of the graduates who have made it to the prestigious Dean's top 3 list for batch 70. The DTT awardees in the order of their roll numbers are Grishma Harshad Dand, Kamala Kannan Muthu Subramanian, Gaurav Vijay. And the gold medal winner of batch 70 is Grishma Harshad Dand. The companies represented in PGEMP batch 71, class of 2020 are Cummins, Larsen and Toubro, Numaligarh Refinery, India Medtronic, BPCL, Mahindra and Mahindra, and Electromech. I shall announce the names of the graduates, roll number wise. Kinshuk Agarwal, Kedar N. Bakshi, Gurpreet Singh Bhatia, Naveen C, Linesh CF, Amay Chitle, Prashant Kumar Chaudhary, Sabin Davis, Anup Deshpande, Deepu G, Arvind Jain, Aditya Anjanaya Jena, Adamya Kadamne, Mohit Kakkar, Rahul Kalathia, Rohit Kalia, Shailesh Kejriwal, Khudus Khan, Shambhavi Kandholkar, Akshay Anand Shirsagar, Sandeep Kumar, Sumit Kumar, Harish Lodwal, Yuvraj Mathane, Sahaya Libin Ment D, Debanjan Mitra, Ashwini Patil, Abhishek Paul, Sasi Prakash R, Aditi Rajbansh, Nishit Shah, Nishad V.S., Vijay Lakshmi Venkatraman, Shailesh Kumar Yadav, Javed Mohammed. I will now announce the names of the graduates who have made it to the prestigious Dean's top 3 list for batch 71. The DTT awardees in the order of their roll numbers are Rahul Kalathia, Aditi Rajbansh, Nishit Shah. And the batch 71 gold medal winner is Aditi Rajvansh. The final PGEMP batch for this year's graduation is batch 72, class of 2021. The companies represented are Ambuja Cement, BPCL, Larsen and Toubro, Mahindra and Mahindra, Shapoorji Pallonji Group, Clarivate Analytics, Danfoss Industries, and KPMG. In addition to the above companies, the batch also has representation from the Indian Army. The graduates' names, roll number wise, are Arun Eri, Tahir Anbar, Sudeep Banerjee, Anayat Beg, Mehul Kumar Jamnadas Chowda, Debashish De, Shaunak Dongre, Girish Kumar Gandhi, Anushri Ghosh, Gaurav Katrubar, Pavan Kumar, Mahesh Babubhai Lakani, Rajamani M, Ayan Mukherjee, Shesha Chalarao P, Pavan Kumar Pandey, Ladli Parshad, Debanuj Ray, Divya Rukmani PR, Prakash S, Prasad Sanna Gaudar, Debabrata Sarkar, M. Muthu Selvam, Shet Kaushal Rajnikant Himlata, Jatinder Singh, Vikas Singh, Bhaskar Shriram, Narayan Vernekar, Ankur Vadhva, Krishna Velidi, Sunil Bhimrao Mali. I will now announce the names of the graduates who have made it to the prestigious Dean's top 3 list for batch 72. The DTT awardees in the order of their roll numbers are Debanuj Ray, Shet Kaushal Rajnikant Himlata, Bhaskar Shriram. The gold medal for batch 72 is jointly shared by Debanuj Ray, Shet Kaushal Rajnikant Himlata. Best wishes to the PGEMP class. Please wait for the final conferment of your post-graduation certification to be conducted by our Honorable Chairman in the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor George. We've just been hearing from some of our students who are watching it live. If you want to see the feed in full screen, you can click on that full screen square or just press F on your keypad and it will come up in full screen. Also, don't forget to take your selfies in the virtual selfie booth. Now, please welcome Professor Nilendra Singh Pawar, Chairperson of the Postgraduate Program in Management, PGPM.
Respected guests and students, it's my honor and privilege to present to you the graduating class of Postgraduate Program in Management, PGPM 2020. The batch is special to us for 3 key reasons. First, As we all went through a tumultuous period in 2020, the batch displayed tremendous courage and adaptability to manage within the constraints put on them. Secondly, in spite of all the constraints that the batch faced, they have delivered an excellent academic performance. The top CGPA in the batch is the highest ever for PGPM. Thirdly, although the industry was facing uncertain times, the placement for the batch was the best ever placement for any PGPM batch in terms of time taken as well as the average salary. All in all, the PGPM batch of 2020 sets a great example for future batches on how to face adversities and come out on top. The batch strength is 115 students, and I shall announce their names in the order of their roll numbers. Aditi Singh, Akhilesh Agrawal, Anamika Roy, Anirban Das, Ansel Abraham, Anuj Gupta, Arbaz Pathan, Arpit Khandelwal, Nushreen Ahmed, Biku John, Biswajit Hazra, Abhinav Reddy, Devansh Sharma, Dijesh Menon, Dikshit Ratan Kashyap, Divya Prakash, Gauri Shankar Patnayak, Harshita Gundu, Harshit Grover, Harshita Singh, Hemant Tandon, Hiran Soni, Karthikeyan, Lalit Pant, Mayank Srivastava, Abid Khan, Nadeem Siddiqui, Naveen Sutar, Piyush Ahuja, Pranav Agrawal, Priyanshu Agrawal, Rajachandra Gadya, Rajat Sharma, Ritesh Kumar Singh, Ripan Nandi, Rupak Gaikwad, Sajal Agrawal, Sakshi Khanna, Saurabh Mishra, Shashank Sagar, Shreyans Tiwari, Siddharth Nair, Sonalini Jenna, Srividya Yeleti, Subranta Kundu, Sudhanshu Khajuria, Sugandha Raj, Suraj Pratap Singh, Swami Gali, Tarun Kataria, Uma Kompela, Varun Reddy, Yashwant Gantasala, Vishnu Mohan, Vishnu S, Vishnu Vijayan, Abraham Zakaria, Akashdeep Kak, Abhimanyu Singh Tawar, Abhishek Dash, Achyut Deshpande, Aditya Arora, Aditya Munshi, Afzal P.A., Akash Padi, Akhilesh Srinivasan, Akshat Narki, Akshi, Amrita Mittal, Anamitru Pathak, Anshul Jain, Anubhav Mehta, Ashutosh Kumar Neeraj, Bharat Nagarajan, Vidisha Chaudhary, Dibopam Maulik, Dhananjay Sharma, Dhrubajyoti Gayen, Dilip Sundar, Hariharan Iyer, Harshit Puri, Jithin Matthews, Kuldeep Gohil, Kumar Vinayak, Kunal Kulkarni, Madhurya Dikshit, Mahima Gupta, Meghna Ganesh, Nikhilesh Samadhi, Nishant Bangera, Nishar Ahmed, Neetu Pathak, Pavitra Ganesh, Pranay Joshi, Pranit Dalvi, Pratip Bhattacharya, Puneet Sahu, Raghav Saxena, Rajdeep Das, Ranjit Prabhu, Sahitya Banta, Santosh Kumar Patra, Shiva Mehta, Shavik Das, Shruti Goradia, Siddhartha Das, Sneha Mishra, Sumantra Pathak, Surabhi Kumari, Swati Goyal, Tejasvi Manchekar, Vichal Rastogi, Vignesh Kumar Dhandapani, Vikas Chanumulu, Vivek Sharma. Next, I shall be announcing the DTT Awards for Academic Excellence. DTT Award stands for Dean's Top 10 Award. It is given to the top 10 students of the batch based on their first semester CGPA. And this year we have 11 students in the list due to a tie. And the names of DTT awardees are in the order of their roll numbers. Rajat Sharma, Subranta Kundu, Yashwant Kantasala, Anshul Jain, Pavitra Ganesh, Puneet Sahu, Sahitya Banta, Shiva Mehta, Shavik Das, Surabhi Kumari, Vichal Rastogi. Next, we award gold medals to the top 2 students of the PGPM batch. The winners for PGPM 2020 are Anshul Jain, he secured the top rank, and Shiva Mehta for securing the second rank. Best wishes to the PGPM class. Please wait for the final conferment of your post-graduation certification to be conducted by our Honorable Chairman in the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Pawar. Next is Dr. Ashita Agarwal, Chairperson of the Postgraduate Management Program for Women, PGMPW.
Welcome to the convocation of PGMPW class of 2020. Postgraduate Management Program for Women, or PGMPW, is a unique program designed for women who have taken a break in career due to social and family responsibilities and are ready to return to full-time professional roles. SPJIMR is a pioneer in this space and is the only school in the world that has a full-time management program for returning women. Our efforts have been duly recognized, and in just 5 years of the launch, the program has been rewarded as an inspiring innovation in the area of management education by AACSB and AMBA, a global accreditation forum which are based out of USA and UK. Industry has given all its support, and 16 corporate heads invest their time regularly to craft the program design, help in delivery, and in achieving of program outcomes. People who climb Everest also take a break at the base camp to recoup, to refresh, to repurpose, and they are ready to inch again towards their goal. Break for them is an enabler and not a barrier. Hence, we address the break which our students take as a time of search when they were working in a different organization and honing different skills. PGMPW doesn't just upskill our participants for the next job, but for lifetime employability. The program promises its participant to remove the impact of time away from work. All our graduates till date have joined back the organizations at the role and salaries higher than those they took a break at. In just 4 years of graduating, one of our graduates from the first batch has risen to a CXO level role in her organization. The participants of this program continue to inspire us with their determination to make a comeback, their passion, and their courage to make impossible possible. It is my pleasure to introduce the graduates from the class of 2020 who have made a successful comeback while taking care of their families during the difficult times of COVID-19. Congratulations to each one of you and your families too. And I shall now announce the names in alphabetical order. Abha Srivastava, Ajni Annie Philip, Anita Meghani, Angelika Srivastava, Apurva Jogi, Chinky Das, Debulina Dan, Dhanashri Deshpande, Isha Nair, Jyoti Hotkar, Ketki Indurkar, Kumari Suhasini, Nupur Srivastava, Pallavi Chaudhary, Prerna Mukhopadhyay, Priyanka Bansikar, Priyanka Goswami, Purvi Savalgi, Ranju Chaurasia, Shambhavi Raj Shah, Shiv Priya Singh, Shweta Sankhyan, Suchita Srivastava, Sugandha Agarwal, Shweta Raj, Shweta Ranjan, Tripti Gupta. I am now going to announce DTT Awards, Dean's Top 2. These two students have topped the class of 2020 across all the common courses offered in semester 1 and semester 3. I shall announce the DTT names roll number wise. Suchita Srivastava, Tripti Gupta. Congratulations. I shall now declare the PG MPW Gold Medal winner. Tripti Gupta. Congratulations, Tripti. Best wishes to the PG MPW class. Please wait for the final conferment of your post-graduation certification to be conducted by our Honorable Chairperson towards the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Agarwal. Finally, the newest program offered from our Delhi Center, batch graduating for the first time, I invite Dr. Rupal Walia Sharma, Chairperson of the Postgraduate Program in General Management, PGP-GM.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations to all the participants graduating today. This convocation is very special for the postgraduate program in general management. The participants of PGP-GM started their journey in September 2018 at the SPJIMR Delhi Center, comprising of working executives from BFSI, manufacturing, automotive, IT, consulting, and hospitality sectors. Our participants have traveled these 2 years with us, dedicating alternate weekends to sessions on campus, managing work, family, and studies. So hearty congratulations to the participants, and congratulations also to their family members who supported them in their journey. I shall now announce the names of the graduating participants, roll number wise. Mukul Arora, Sunil Chejara, Akansha Gupta, Mayank Gupta, Sonam Khanna, Mukul Kukreja, Nitesh Kumar, Adit Pandita, Debojyoti Roy, Dilmeet Singh, Ashish Thakur, Anup Kumar Upadhyay, Vikas Verma. Now I shall announce the names of the participants who have been awarded the Dean's Top 2. Names are in roll number, order of roll number. Adit Pandita, Debojyoti Roy. Congratulations, both of you. And now, time for the PGP-GM Gold Medal winner. The gold medal goes to Debojyoti Roy. Well done, Debojyoti. Best wishes to the PGP-GM class. Please wait for the final conferment of your post-graduation certification to be conducted by our Honorable Chairman shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. As you said, now I request the Chairman, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, to confer the qualifications to our graduating students.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Chairman, Governing Council of the SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, and in recognition of your having completed successfully all the necessary requirements of your respective programs, which are PGDM, PGEMP, PGPM, PGMPW, and PGPGM, I confer on you the certificate of your postgraduate qualification and charge you to conduct yourself in life and in the organizations that you will work for, and to always uphold the values and vision of this institute in terms of your thoughts, words, and deeds, and with dignity of the power and the position bestowed on you today by this SPJIMR certificate. With the grace of the Almighty, may you prove worthy of it. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. And congratulations to the 596 of you who have just graduated upon sir's conferment. Mark this moment of time. This is an important one for you all. Don't forget to take that selfie in the virtual selfie booth, which will be available for 30 minutes, even after our program ends today. You can post these with hashtags SPJIMR Convo 2021 and hashtag, you know this one, I am SPJIMR. Mr. Gopalakrishnan, sir, could you now please kindly introduce our esteemed chief guest to our audience?
It's a great honor for me to introduce our chief guest at this convocation, Mrs. Arundhati Bhattacharya. She is the chairperson and the chief executive officer of Salesforce India. In her role, Mrs. Bhattacharya oversees the growth strategy of the company and plays an integral part in defining Salesforce's relationship with the ecosystem of customers, partners, and community across India. Prior to Salesforce, Mrs. Bhattacharya was the first woman chairperson at the State Bank of India, where she was credited with ushering in the digital transformation era of the bank. Under her leadership, State Bank of India went on to be voted as one of India's top 3 best places to work in India. With over 40 years of rich experience in India's financial sector, working across varied roles and diverse national and international locations, Mrs. Bhattacharya has also earned a string of accolades to her name, most notably the world's 100 most powerful women by Forbes, the top 50 globally most powerful women in business, and the world's 50 greatest leaders by Fortune. Welcome to you, madam. Thank you very much for being here with us today.
Hello, Mrs. Bhattacharya. Thank you so much for being here today. We are delighted to have you as our chief guest.
Thank you so much, Vinita. I must say that, I really am very honored that SPJIMR chose to have me as the chief guest for this convocation ceremony. And it's one of a kind, being entirely virtual, and I think the first one for y'all. So yes, thank you very much. And I will take this opportunity, first of all, to thank the chairman of the governing council, Mr. Deepak Parekh, who's been a long-standing colleague and friend and almost a mentor of mine. Along with that, I would also like to thank Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, the member governing council, Dr. Vasant Shivaraman, the associate dean for academics, Dr. Varun Nagaraj, who's the incoming dean, and of course, the associate deans, the other faculty members, the staff members, the graduating students, their families, their spouses, the other members of the media, as well as ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much, for welcoming me here today and giving me an opportunity of interacting with this very bright class of graduating students.
Thank you, Mrs. Bhattacharya, and we are really looking forward to hearing from you. I wanted to ask you that you studied English literature and then you reached the zenith of a career in banking and finance, and now with a world-renowned CRM company. How did you traverse this path, ma'am? What are the 3 greatest learnings from your professional career?
Well, that's a question that keeps getting asked of me quite frequently, mainly because people really can't relate English literature to being head of a Fortune 500 bank. As it is, the banking system, as you know, is very male dominated. And to be the head of a Fortune 500 bank and the largest bank in India, and then, after retirement, coming into an IT company is something that really does, sort of puzzle people as to what it is. But if you ask me for the three main learnings that I've had, and which I would definitely like to share with this very bright class of students who are graduating today, is that, you must learn to challenge yourself all the time. Never ever allow yourself to become very comfortable. If you are stay in your comfort zone, you are not going to be able to, see the world the way I have been able to see it and really go from place to place. If you make up your mind, you can actually do anything. Anything and everything is possible. And therefore, stay out of your comfort zone, step out of it. In fact, in the bank, we used to have a joke that we used to get transferred very frequently. And I have worked in the north, south, east, and west of India, which has been tough, but it has also been something which has really opened my mind to very many new ideas, cultures, cuisines, languages, to a lot of things. And we used to say that, the bank waits for you to get a good hairdresser and a good tailor who can stitch a good blouse. The moment that happens, you are due for transfer. So, you are always being challenged by being given new roles. And the thing is, when such challenges come, a lot of us feel we are not ready. Okay. And we step back. And in fact, somebody was saying the other day, it all starts in our childhood, and especially for women, where, a boy is actually patted on the back if he does some courageous act, whereas a girl is patted on the back when she does something perfectly. Okay, so there is a difference in the way we are treated as children. And as a result, what happens, especially for the women students who are graduating today, I would like to tell them that even if you know that you will not be perfect in the job, take it up. Take it up and take it as a challenge. Be there, and surely, you can conquer it. So that is the first thing. The second thing, of course, which follows very easily from the first bit, is learning. Learning is something, that you have to do lifelong. It is not something that only ends, with your academic career. It's not something that ends with certifications. It's something that you do from your colleagues, from your ecosystem, from your parents, even from your children. Very often my child teaches me how to manage the new mobiles. They always manage to discover many more features in the mobiles than I ever do. That's because, they are wired in a different way, and they can teach us. When the time comes, they are also our teachers. So remember always to learn. And remember also one thing, that, your brain is like a knife. The more you keep sharpening it, the sharper it will get. The moment you stop using it, it gets rusted and blunted. So if you are in a comfort zone and if you are not learning, then these are the two things that are really going to stand you in good stead. You must remember these two things. And the last but not least, I think, is, you must develop empathy. And for empathy, I would say, first and foremost, empathize with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. You don't have to live up to other people's standards. You can set your own standards. Society puts in a number of standards for us. It's up to us to sort of accept it or not accept it. And over a time, you'll find that people will be quite comfortable with it. For that matter, I'm from earlier generation. During my time, it was expected that the woman of the house would still be the last person to eat. Okay. And, or at least, would eat along with the family. However, I used to find that I used to have video calls, when it was dinner time. So I would have my dinner early and allow my family thereafter to eat at their own time. Frankly speaking, it didn't make an iota of difference. But the fact is, if you want to go as per the norms of society, then you put unnecessary stress on yourself. So while you're empathizing with yourself, also learn to empathize with the people around you. Put yourself in their place. And if you do that, you will find that, the entire ecosystem turns much more friendly and kindly towards you, because they feel that you are, really understanding, and they'll come through in times of trouble. So overall, I would say, these would be the three main things. That is, always stay out of your comfort zone, step out of it, keep learning all the time, and learn how to empathize.
Beautiful. Learning how to empathize with yourself, that is amazing. The next thing I want to ask you is that as your career developed, you must have come across several challenges. Can you tell us how you dealt with it? And especially, we know that even political pressures come your way. And today, increasingly, many private and even public enterprises are facing such pressures.
See, the fact of the matter is that when you are in a position where you can influence decisions, there will be pressures that come from various angles. Okay, you've got to learn to deal with them. One of the ways of dealing with them is to deal with them in a forthright manner, to say that this is what can be done and this is what cannot be done. For instance, I would get pressures from a lot of places for placements of people. Okay, because ours is a pan-India organization. Nobody really wants to go away from their hometown or their home state. So there would be a lot of pressure. But the fact is, I still have to run a pan-India organization. So, you create rules and you stick by them. You don't make exceptions, excepting for grounds of compassion, where there is any sickness, illness, something of the or the other that, really is what should I say, that really is a ground for compassion. Other than that, you don't allow people to sort of, dictate what you are doing. And if you stay with that over a period of time, you will find that the pressures will decrease. The more you bow down to pressures, the more the pressures will be. So you have got to push back. But there are ways and ways of pushing back. You can push back blindly, you can push back bluntly, or you can push back with a little bit of, what should I say, diplomacy, in order to ensure that, they also understand why you are pushing back. It is important to make the other persons understand the rationale of your objections. And very often people are rational. It's not that they want something and they won't give up until they get it. If you really and truly give them the reasons why not, most of them will back off themselves. So learning how to handle pressure is, I think, part of the job as you grow older in any profession. And to do it gracefully, I think, is very important.
True. Ms. Bhattacharya, you've been a champion of women at work. You just mentioned that already. And our institute prides itself for producing world-class women managers. We have a very good gender ratio and a pioneering program exclusively for women returning to work. What do you think the future looks like for women managers?
So, women managers over a period of time, I think things are becoming better. But that does not mean that, things are as good as they could be. When I was in my earlier institution, for instance, I started a 2-year sabbatical for women for specifically childcare and elderly care. Because, I had headed the HR function in the bank for a while. And in an informal survey that we did, we found that women were leaving the workforce at 3 times in their lives. The first, of course, was the childbearing years, when the child is very small and, needs care. The second was when the children were in between the classes 10 to 12. Which is a phenomena specific to India, okay, or maybe also to China, because, things are so competitive at that point of time. So I used to find that at these points of time, many a woman would sort of give up on the career, and instead, they would go and take care of the children. So I thought, a sabbatical for those kinds of things, for childcare is also important. And similarly for elderly care. because your parents-in-law become sick. In India, geriatric care is very expensive, plus also not to the quality that we would want them to be. And therefore, people would leave their careers and take care of them. But as a result, what we found was that a number of the leakage of the pipe was very heavy during these periods. Now, by giving them a 2-year sabbatical, what we did manage to do was give them a choice of coming back. So they could take this 2-year sabbatical, see their child through the periods that they needed to be seen through, look after the parents-in-law, when they are at the, when they really need the care, and still come back. And actually speaking, after 2 or 3 years of doing this, when we took a survey, I thought, we had been able to save more than 670 women's careers. So, some kind of affirmative action is required. Of course, I am Ahmedabad. One of the professors told me that, are you not creating stereotypes by giving this sabbatical to women? You are making them the primary caregiver. So, that gave me food for thought for quite a while. But then I realized that while what he was saying was true, but it is also true that you've got to understand the realities of the situation. And if the reality of the situation is that at this point of time, this is what is required, then that affirmative action is required for that point of time. It need not be forever. The only thing that I did after a week's thinking was that I also extended it to single men, because they have the same problems, right? So I did that. But I think, this is something that is important. And in my current company, for instance, we give paid paternity leave. So for the women, we have a 24-month leave. For the secondary caregiver, we have, I think, a 6-month or a 12-month leave, paternity leave. So they can take that paternity leave and help out at home. These are things that are required if we want to keep the women in the work streams. So I think, the future for women managers is brighter than what it was, but there are still lots and lots of things that we could do to make sure that our workforce parity is much better than what it is today.
True. Let me move on to the current COVID crisis. It has changed our world. It is and will be a turning point in some ways. How do you think it will change the future of work?
So it will definitely change the future of work, because if you look at any company and ask them what is it that they need to do, they will talk about 2 or 3 things. The first thing they will talk about is that it has to be a world where you can work from anywhere, okay? Because you never know whether the employee will be able to come in or not come in. The second is that you need to own your customer. See, a lot of people were selling on these platforms, such as, Amazon and Flipkart and the others. During the pandemic, as you know, they had to close down because the logistics didn't allow them interstate movement of goods. So they had to close down. And many of these people started suffering because they had no direct connect with their customers. Okay, it either had to be on the platform or it had to be physical. They didn't have any other way. So today they understand that they have to own their customers, and the customers also must have omni-channel access. And the third thing that they realize very much is that people, or rather businesses, have to be very agile. You have to be able to change very, very quickly. Most of us went from a fully physical to a remote form of working in as little as 5 days. Okay, so these are things that will happen more and more in the future. Today we went from remote to physical. Who knows, if there is a sudden bad climate event, we may need to actually revert back from the remote into the physical, because we may not be having the kind of connectivity that, there was a solar storm and all your connectivity snaps. What do you do then? So, you have to have hybrid ways of working. So if you look at the future of work basically is, first of all, it will be remote, but it will also be hybrid. Okay. The second thing is the future of work will be flexible. So, while you may want to work from home, home may mean many things. Home may mean that your office is in Hyderabad and you are sitting in Kerala, but home may also mean that you are within commutable distance of Hyderabad. Okay, so home could mean many things. So it will be work from anywhere. It will be a very much more flexible working situation. The third thing I think, that is definitely going to happen is that, you will have to determine how you balance work with life. Because what we have seen when working from home is that life and work sort of tend to merge with each other. You are forever, whenever something is landing on your PC, you are sort of, jumping off and trying to attend to it immediately. It's not your shift. You don't need to do it immediately. Nobody is expecting it. For instance, if you consider my current company, the head office is in San Francisco. Now they wake up when we go to sleep. Now they have queries for us. Do you think they're really expecting that we answer them right now? They don't. But because we feel sort of, under pressure that somebody sent a query, I must send a reply. So, we forget to keep this work-life balance. So work-life balance will come more into play, because unless and until we do that, we will not be able to retain our mental health, which is very, very important. Physical health, of course, is important, but mental health is equally or more important. And therefore, the future of work will be a kind of creation of a balance, which will be more in your hands. It will not be determined so much by your employer, but it will be more in your hands. And last but not least, I think, the future of work is entrepreneurial. So you will have more and more people doing things on their own in little groups. I don't believe that entrepreneurship is something that has to be done in a particular manner. Even a person working at home, working only for themselves, they can become entrepreneurial. And we are seeing that. We are seeing that burgeoning all across the place. For instance, I have a lady in my own building who has taken to painting umbrellas. And her business is doing very well, because she just gets these white umbrellas and she paints them, and they make lovely gifts. I myself bought one in order to give to a friend, and my friend was absolutely delighted with it. So even things like these are entrepreneurial. They are different from whatever we used to think earlier, and you will see more and more of people becoming entrepreneurial. If you look at the startup community, they have become one of the largest employers in India. If you look at the fact that, Bangalore was once the cradle, it was supposed to be, and it still is supposed to be, the Silicon Valley of India. But there are so many others that have developed. Noida has developed, Pune has developed, Chennai has developed, Hyderabad has developed. So many other areas, even Jaipur has developed. So many other areas has developed as centers for entrepreneurial, experience. And I would, in fact, very much exhort the students of this batch that you have now gone through a course that really and truly empowers you. You should be looking at creating jobs for others and not expecting jobs to come to you. If you can do that, if you can even employ 2 people, you create employment for yourself and create employment for 2 more people, I think your institute's debt will be paid.
That's great advice for our students who are just stepping into their corporate careers. Could you continue with that thought and end with a few lessons that the students can bear in mind for their future?
Well, for their future, I think 1 or 2 things only I would like to say. The first and foremost is there is really no alternative to hard work. No matter what anybody says, you make your own luck. Your karma is made by you. Nobody decides your karma for you. It's you who will make your own luck. And for that, you need to work hard. That's the first thing. The second thing is there will be failures. There's bound to be failures in life. But never ever think that, a failure is something which is negative. A failure teaches you much more than your successes will. Okay. And, this is bound to happen in our lives. And if we think, and all of y'all, your student community that is graduating today, they've been bright students all their lives. They've seen success all their lives. Now, that's not going to be how it is for the rest of your life. There will be times which will be very testing. There will be failures, but remember to learn from them. A failure from which you don't learn is actually a big wasted opportunity. So learn from your failures. And last but not least, believe in yourself. Unless and until you're comfortable in your skin, unless and until you believe that, this is something that can be achieved and I will achieve it, this is what I really want to do, you will not really be able to reach that pinnacle you want to reach. At the end of the day, passion is very important. But temper your passion with deep knowledge. Passion is great. You need to have it in order to arrive at that pinnacle, but temper it with deep knowledge and with hard work. If you follow this, there is nobody that can stop you. You're going to achieve whatever you set out to achieve.
That's wonderful. Those are all nuggets of wisdom that I'm sure that our students would have already enjoyed listening to you and will carry with them through their lives. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with us today and for this wonderful chat, conversation, and experience, wisdom that you've shared with us.
Thank you again very much for the opportunity to talk to such bright young minds. And I really wish them well. My congratulations to each one of them for having graduated successfully, and my very best wishes to them for the future careers that they are looking forward to. Thank you.
Thank you again. I very much hope you enjoyed listening to Arundhati ji. Apologies, we are running slightly late, but it is a virtual convocation and there are very interesting things going on. And now I invite Dr. Vasant Shivaraman to address the audience. Dr. Shivaraman is Professor of Finance and Strategy and Associate Dean, Academics and Full-Time Programs. Vasant.
Respected Chief Guest, Mrs. Arundhati Bhattacharya, Chairman, Governing Council of SPJIMR, Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, Governing Council members, heads of our sister institutions, associate deans, chairpersons of our programs, staff and faculty colleagues, alumni and distinguished guests, representatives from partner companies and guests, family members and friends of our graduating students, and my dear graduating students. I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you to this convocation ceremony. This is a first of its kind in terms of a ceremony for us at SPJIMR. We are conducting it in a virtual mode, and I'm honored to address you and share some milestones and achievements of your institute in recent times. The journey we have made has been possible with the full support of all our stakeholders. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge contribution by all of you, in particular during the past year and a half. We have been through difficult times in this pandemic and yet are blessed to be here on this occasion. Many of you will recall SPJIMR's rapid response to the first lockdown. In a matter of days, we switched seamlessly to an online delivery of classes. It has been an entirely new normal, but with the wholehearted participation of everybody, including all new students, we have gained new experiences and stayed on track with the completion of academic programs. Before getting onto achievements and milestones of the Institute, I would like to speak of the graduating programs. These are the 2-year PGDM program, the modular postgraduate executive management program, PGEMP, the postgraduate program in management, a 15-month full-time program for executives with 5 years plus of functional experience. This is the PGPM. The postgraduate management program for women, PGMPW, aimed at talented, experienced women returning to the workplace, and the executive management program with the weekend format run at the Delhi Center, postgraduate program in general management, PGPGM. Only recently, we marked our 40th Foundation Day, and that is pretty much how long back the PGDM program goes to. And today we have 236 students from the program. This also happens to be the program with the youngest students on campus, the bright youngsters of the SPJIMR family. From PGEMP, we have 205 students from across 5 batches. These are the ones who took the bold decision to go back to academics with support in full measure from their families and their workplace, what I'd call collective commitment. The PGPM with 115 students and the PGMPW with 27 students set a platform for individuals to aim for a career shift, both in terms of trajectory and the career path. And finally, our newest program is the PGPGM. We are delighted to have the first cohort of 13 students from PGPGM at this convocation ceremony. Let me share a brief on the placement report relating to PGDM, PGPM, and PGMPW. The onset of the pandemic meant that we had to think beyond the business as usual efforts made for placements, expanding our outreach by 7x times, developing the capabilities to host recruiters across multiple online platforms, and implementing a placement portal for our students. These were some of the key initiatives that enabled us to successfully go towards placing the batches in these challenging times. The last time the economy faced a significant slowdown was the financial crisis in 2008. The class at that time witnessed a drop in average C2C of over 20% from the previous year across SPJIMR. This year, the average metrics across all programs have not only been maintained, but have risen from the previous year. This was unimaginable at the start of the year, and this only reinforces the strength of the community that is SPJIMR. I take this opportunity to congratulate you all and to acknowledge the contribution of the placement team and the student playcoms across PGDM, PGPM, and PGMPW. We also acknowledge the corporate and alumni community for supporting these trying times for guidance and recruitment. Let me now share with you some recognitions for SPJIMR that we are proud of. As a school, we have been distinct in that we continue to lay great emphasis on social sector initiatives, since we believe that management is relevant for organizations beyond corporates. I am happy to say that SPJIMR has been recognized as a pioneering school with the highest level 5 rating for its social impact and sustainability achievements. The recognition was announced in the 2021 edition of the Positive Impact Rating at the United Nations Principles for Responsible Management Education Global Forum. The PIR is a student-led rating that reflects the positive social impact of the school as seen and evaluated by its students. These are students whom we like to see graduate as authentic, grounded, and socially sensitive. PIR is an annual global rating and a non-profit association founded by the United Nations Global Compact, Switzerland, the World Wildlife Fund, and Oxfam International. To my mind, this is an acknowledgement of what we have stood for over time and something made possible by the commitment of the larger SPJIMR family. I would now like to turn to the Financial Times ranking, which some may say is a gold standard on the global stage. In the 2020 rankings, SPJIMR emerged 36th globally and joined 3rd within India. The other 3 are IIM Ahmedabad, Calcutta, and Bangalore. SPJIMR participated in the FT ranking for the first time in 2020, and this can but build on the preeminent reputation of SPJIMR as a leading management school. On other international rankings, SPJIMR is one of the 6 Indian business schools that includes IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, ISB, and IIM Lucknow. To make it to the QS Global MBA rankings for the year 2021. This is the 5th consecutive year that SPJIMR is on this elite list. You are aware that SPJIMR enjoys the AACSB accreditation. More recently, we received re-accreditation from AMBA. This makes SPJIMR among the few management schools in the country to have both global accreditations. Another recognition was recently extended to SPJIMR by the National Regulatory Body for Management Schools, the All India Council of Technical Education, AICTE. SPJIMR was awarded the Category 1 status under the AICTE Graded Autonomy Scheme. This is the highest category possible for institutions affiliated to AICTE. Since 2016, SPJIMR has had an exclusive alliance with Harvard Business Publishing, HBP. Under this collaboration, SPJIMR has been the national training partner for teaching with simulations aimed at faculty from other business schools. Only recently, HBP renewed and extended this exclusive partnership beyond 2021. On the research and publications front, we continue to make significant advances with the body of work across the faculty group. We have seen a large number of research papers in peer-reviewed journals, book chapters, case publications, book publications, and participation in conferences. A few examples are A, looking at nudges in the gig economy in the context of controlling driver earnings, nudges in the gig economy, or B, ideas at suggesting ways in which migration could be addressed in policies on international trade regulation and in the field of investment protection, migration related. Or C, how an e-commerce user's own experience and expected experience have a significant impact on the way a user writes reviews. A Best Paper Award was presented for excellence in technical innovation to the paper titled Incentives or Sanctions, an enforcement theory perspective to sustainable consumerism. This was at the International Conference on Computational Intelligence and Knowledge Economy 2021. Our faculty authored case studies, received bestseller award and recognition as top selling cases, and one of our faculty members developed a business simulation which has recently made it to the Harvard Business Publishing's best-selling list. I would now like to touch upon our alumni and our engagement, their engagement. The past 18 months have been difficult, and through these times, we witnessed our alumni in different city groups going beyond personal comfort to help others. Many alumni joined hands with larger initiatives or started their own in trying to help the community in pandemic relief. Courage and heart that embody SPJIMR have been very evident in these times. Our own focus is to help alumni do even better, and for that, the network has to be visible and accessible to all. Alumni from different domains, geographies, programs, and batches should be able to connect with one another. Many initiatives have been taken towards this in the last year. A portal, an app, has been created with 9,000 plus alumni already on it with many city groups. Alumni engagement with the institute in the virtual mode has been difficult but rewarding. Faculty-led webinars, virtual back to classroom sessions, master classes, institute events like SPJIMR Day, and alumni awards saw unprecedented alumni attendance. In some events from more than 20 countries and across all programs. My dear friends, you're aware that the new academic block is now operational. This block houses the Dr. M.L. Shrikant Auditorium, named after the visionary who laid the foundation for SPJIMR. On the front of infrastructure, SPJIMR had a groundbreaking ceremony for its new construction projects involving a new hostel building, faculty housing, and a new recreation cum mess building. The new hostel building will be able to accommodate more than 450 students and will substantially enhance the quality of the SPJIMR experience for students. In closing, I'd like to quote Martin Luther King Jr. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Towards this goal, here are some suggestions. As you step into the next phase of your lives, keep in mind boundary conditions of what you have learned. Often, it is more important to be aware of circumstances where things do not work as opposed to where they do work. Such grounded and yet current knowledge in the world of work is a way to influence practice. And yes, learning never stops, not for any of us. Of the many alumni who visit and speak with us after 7 years of graduation, there is one recurring theme. While SPJIMR has equipped them with knowledge and skills to take on the world, what stands out in their outlook to life and careers is their set of experiences with SPJIMR in social internship, of mentoring underprivileged children, and of having early responsibility of running parts of the institute with a caveat of influencing without power. These are what build, as some may say, the complete person. As you move ahead in life, nourish and nurture relationships with family and friends. Keep the child in you alive and approach any situation with curiosity and positivity. In today's dynamic world, it might well be that you have a second or a third career during your working life. Be sure to enjoy each career and give it your best. My wish is for you to achieve your dreams, follow your heart, and be the best that you can be on an everyday basis. Look towards gaining strength and support from the close friendships and networks you have built at SPJIMR. My dear friends, heartiest congratulations to you, your families, and to all who have joined us to celebrate this wonderful occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shivaraman, for that very inspiring speech. We are nearly come to the end of our convocation, but before we end, I will request all of you to rise as we play the national anthem.
गणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
to announce the closure of the convocation, sir.
I declare the SPJIMR Convocation 2021 closed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks, very big thanks to our chief guest, Mrs. Arundhati Bhattacharya, for her time and wise words. We are really grateful that she could come here today and grace the occasion. Thank you all for attending today's convocation. We wish the graduating class all the very best for their future and send them off to their bright careers with all our blessings. Jai Hind.